everyone, and welcome to All About You, a program designed with all of you in mind. Today we are going to talk about labels. You know that labels are everywhere. Whenever you see someone, you already see a label there. Either you yourself put a label on that person, maybe that person is already carrying a label with them from things, situations that happened to them before. What do I mean by that? Labels are what people see when they look at you, or what do you see when you look at yourself? For example, how many people, ladies, first of all, how are you? How many people, they are misunderstood? How many people jump into conclusions and start thinking about someone else, because they spoke in a certain way, or because they didn't have the time to say hello, maybe they were so busy, and people jumped into conclusions and started labeling them as someone that is rude, someone that is, they think they are better than others, isn't it?
It's so true. Sometimes people tend to judge others just by what they look like. They pass by, they don't say hi, they are judged by that, or because of things that happened in the past in their lives. They used to drink, they don't drink anymore now. Oh no, that drunk guy, people are known. Not even by names, sometimes, just by references. Do you know that person who committed a mistake?
Oh yeah, that one.
And it's so sad. It's something that we do with people, but we don't like when people do it with ourselves.
It's so true, Grazi. And I'm honest to say, I've had experiences like that where we want to move on. People want to move on. They don't want to be known as that. But it's like, you've actually moved on, you've changed, but then in that person's mind, you're still the same. So I do agree with what you're saying.
Sometimes it's not even that people are really judging you. You are judging people, thinking, oh, they don't believe I've changed. They still look at me as by the light of what happened in the past. You actually judging people, thinking they don't believe in you, they don't give you another chance.
And the reason why is because people are still stuck to whatever happened to them in the past. They are the ones who are actually stuck. They are the ones who are actually labeling themselves. They think, as you said, people are labeling me, people think, oh, they're looking at me like this. I think what comes to their mind, they know what happened to me, they are judging me. But the truth is that you are still labeling yourself. When in reality, whatever happened to you, for example, you make a mistake. You made a mistake in the past, and you feel really bad about what happened. You didn't want to do that. You regret it really deeply. You didn't want. If you could, you wish you could go back to fix whatever you did before. You don't want to be that person anymore. You are ashamed of what you did. But not even God wants us to be stuck over there. If you made a mistake, if you did something, if you let people down, if you failed, so it's not time. It's not going to help you actually if you just stay there. If you keep on seeing yourself, I made this mistake. So whenever you have an idea, you don't give it. You don't express it because, no, maybe my idea is not going to be good. No, who am I? Who am I to give an idea? Who am I to help someone? Who am I to express myself? Who am I to make a difference?
And this is where the problem begins, because you start doubting yourself. You don't believe you can do better. You don't believe you deserve another chance. But not even God does that with us. If you commit a mistake, if you sinned against God, He will never label you for what happened in the past. I'm not going to receive another chance. I'm never going to be used by God again. This is a lie. This is not going to happen. In fact, He will use you even more, because that label that you have will be for His glory. He's going to use that to help many other people through what the things you went through, even the mistakes. He will use your mistakes to help many people.
You face that and you learn something with it. You face that situation and you did not allow your emotions to keep you there.
Yeah.
Because whatever happened for a reason. Yes, you made a mistake, you failed. Okay, you learned, you repented, and now I always say this, God always sees us with the eyes of now, present.
Yes.
What are you going to do about it now? Now that you know that this is wrong. Now that you know what to do, I'm giving you the tools. I'm giving you direction. Are you going to follow my direction and move on? Or you're going to keep stuck in the past, isn't it,
It's
Lily?
true. No, I was just going to say, as you were speaking, there might be people that feel like, okay, I understand what you're saying, but they're still in that feeling and all those emotions. My advice is, honestly, if there's another day, if you're alive, like you woke up this morning, then that's another opportunity. That's another day for you to, you know, prove that label wrong. Not necessarily to people, but to yourself, to say, no, I can do it. If it's something that maybe, you know, you've wanted to achieve, but people have said to you, you can't do it. They've labeled you as, I know it sounds silly, but maybe you didn't do so well in college. And you're thinking, how am I going to get to uni? How am I going to get to uni? My grades were not that great, or all these things, I can't do it. Yes, you can. You can retake them again. There's always another opportunity, just as there's always a tomorrow.
Yeah,
So, that's right.
And some people might even say, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. That's why I don't achieve things in my life. And I can't achieve that because look at so-and-so, they are growing and I am not, because I didn't have the means. Stop giving excuses. Nothing can stop you. There is no label on you. No one is labeling you. You have to believe, no, I don't have any labels. I can move on.
Actually, people can give us a lot of labels. Maybe they still see us through the eyes of the past, because we cannot change the past.
Yeah.
We cannot go back. It's impossible. If we could, we would, but we can't. You can't go back to fix what you did in the past, your mistakes, or even trauma, situations you've been through. You can't go back to the past to fix it. And what God actually does, what does He do? He does not remove the label. He actually transforms that label into a testimony. When you give a testimony, you don't omit the person you used to be in your past. On the opposite, you use it. You turn to people and say, do you know what? I used to drink, I used to smoke, I made this mistake, I failed, I let people down. Imagine if I was to carry the labels that due to the mistakes that I did as a wife. I made a lot of mistakes as a wife. I know I'm ashamed to say about the person I used to be, but I'm not ashamed to tell you my testimony, because I'm no longer like that. I didn't used to give attention to my husband. I used to prioritize work over him all the time. I made so many mistakes. I let so many people down. I even went to the point of letting God down. If it was for me to have a label, I even said to my friends here, I would have a big label covering me, and that's it. Look, don't count on her anymore. Bad wife, bad this, bad that. I made a lot of mistakes. I had to start all over again. There were situations that I had to start all over from the beginning. In situations where, I should be going forward, I saw the people changing, I saw the people giving a good example, and there was I, filled with emotions, filled with, self-pity. That did not help me. But the moment when I used my faith and I started doing something about it, I started learning from my mistakes, and I started doing right. From that moment on, God transformed that label into a testimony. So today, when I sit down to talk to people about it, when I talk to them, I actually use that to help, as Godly was saying, I use that to help other people. I say, you know what, you're having a hard time being a wife. Look, this is how you should be. If God changes you and turns you into a testimony, now you're going to be a light, His light, for people who are still in darkness, who are still facing that.
It's so nice of you to share these personal experiences, because many people might be skeptical, thinking, they are talking about this, easier said than done, they might never have gone through this. Let me tell you, raise your hands here. We all have gone through this. If I was as well to live in light of what happened in the past, the things I disappointed God, I would not be here. I would be long gone. But the mercy of God, of course, we are here. We are here, and God is using everything that we went through. We matured. And that's my invitation to you. Grow up spiritually, mature. Mature to the fact that the things that you've done are part now, as you said, they are labels that you have. They're not going to be removed. Fair enough. But they can be used to help many other people. These are experiences, in fact, that you can use to actually help people, right?
And people are going to come to you and are going to say, oh, isn't it that person that made so many mistakes?
Yeah.
Isn't that one that was divorced how many times and now they have a happy marriage? Isn't that person that used to be a loner?
Yes.
Isn't that the person that used to be a drunk? Isn't that the person that used to be like this? So the label is still there, but it's like it's changed now from the moment they start seeing you as a new person. And you start becoming what? You start becoming an inspiration, right? To other people. Like, it's wow, true. My goodness, even if you are going through a bad moment right now, people marvel, they'll say, wow, isn't that person facing this? How come she's been smiling?
She's so strong.
How can she be so strong in the midst of this storm? Wow, this person is an inspiration to me.
You know what I was going to say is, maybe everyone watching is like, wow, they're so confident. They're speaking with so much boldness. And I went through moments where I would look at people like, wow, they're so bold. How can I be like that? And indeed, the reason why we speak with such confidence today is because we literally we surrendered everything to God, all these labels, all these thoughts. But I'm going to be honest with you, I went to the Word of God because there, in His Word, is where we will receive life, is where we will see who we really are meant to be, what our purpose is for. Because I'm sure people are like, wow, but where is that gap? Where is that change? How did that happen? And honestly, one of my tips is go and read the Word of God. It's there that you will receive life. It's there that you will start to understand who you're actually meant to be, the real purpose for your life.
Because the Word of God gives us hope, gives us a future, and makes you look ahead and move on.
It's not a religion. It's not, oh, let me read and this is gonna change. You actually have to believe. You need to make a decision, because even believing in God, let me be honest with you, whenever happened situations with me, it happened already when I already believed in God, and I still made mistakes, I still failed. It was not only when I was not believing in God, when I was there living a wrong life. No, it was whilst I was already a Christian, already believing in God. Yes, I made mistakes. Yes, I made things that I was ashamed of, and I had to learn from them. I had to grow from them. But it was my decision. It was the moment that I decided, you know what, I faced this. What can I do about it now? What am I going to do with this? I want to do something about it. Emotions are not going to help you. From time to time, we talk about emotions because they're really there to mess everything up.
That's true.
So if you allow your feelings to take over and you are led by how you feel, you're not going to change. And God will only be able to change your label and turn it to a testimony when you allow Him to. It doesn't happen just because you pray about it. It's the moment that you just snap yourself out of this emotional mode and you say, you know what, let me do something about it. Let me use this for something good. Let me start changing now. I did this, okay, let me change. And if people see you still through the eyes of the past, of how you used to be, you don't need to prove them wrong. They're just gonna see you, look at you and see the change. Let them see the change as you live, as you deal with situations differently. They're gonna see it. And you're going to be an inspiration to them. So we're going to end our program today with an invitation to all of you to a very special women's meeting this coming Saturday at 3 p.m., the 28th of October. You can't afford to miss it. I'm sure if these programs has helped you, you can imagine how this meeting is going to do with you. It's going to really change you for the best. All right? Thank you so much for being with us, and see you here next week with one more topic. Bye-bye, ladies.